I swearing you in, Mary Jane, or is Ronnie? Do you know?
Well, Dave, do I need to start with the welcome and do that over and
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Dale is on his way either to Billy's or Andy's house. Or Adam's house. I'm not sure which. I'm sorry, guys. We couldn't get his to work.
So do we need to wait on him or?
Well, I think we should.
Okay.
So Ron or Shelley isn't there?
No, I don't have them.
My audio any better now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still.
It's a little quiet, but it's.
That's what I mean. It's just a little soft and quiet.
Okay, we're live. It's just, how long do we want to wait for Dale?
Well, he's the third one to swear in.
All right.
Ronnie Webb doing it or am I doing it on Mary Jane?
Travis.
Okay.
Should we could come back to his swearing in when he comes in, maybe. I don't know.
We can start the first part if you want.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And if he's not here by then, we can skip back.
Okay. So just go ahead and call to order. And then Billy, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ron Gay.
No, Ron's not on it.
Ron's not here. He's not
Right.
gonna be.
So we usually count them for this first roll call. So do you want me to or not?
No. Yeah, he's.
No.
Nor will Shelley.
Webb,
Here.
Reese.
Here.
I can't call the others in until they're sworn in.
Correct. So you now you've got a quorum because that's who's here.
Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and say we're having a quorum. We have a quorum at this time. Travis, you want to go ahead and do, yeah, me. This is your time to swear me in.
Here. And I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Jane Scott,
Swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not knowingly receive,
and that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable things
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office, other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as mayor
my duties as mayor
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you. Now, Dave, does he go ahead and swear in the other two, or do I?
Back to
That'll
you.
be you now. Go ahead, Mayor.
Okay. All right. First of all, Adam, I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for participating and being here and running for office. So Adam, if you will raise your right hand, I will give you the oath of office.
Okay.
I, Adam Kendall,
I, Adam Kendall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not knowingly receive,
and that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty
for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
as Commissioner of Finance to the best of my ability.
as Commissioner of Finance to the best of my ability.
Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
And Adam, on that oath of office, if you'll sign it and then bring it up to the office, then that way Billy will be able to notarize it and have it officially on file.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Has Dale made it there yet?
I don't think he's here. So if he does, I may need a brief moment to rearrange
Okay.
to get where he can get to the computer.
So what we'll do is we'll just hold off on this, and then as soon as he comes, then we'll swear him into office. Okay? So the next thing on the agenda is we're going to seat the new board members, the ones that are sworn in. And again, I want to welcome Adam and Dale when Dale gets here. So now we need to do a roll call and declaration of quorum. So Billy, we need to do another roll call with the new member.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Back over there. I only put 2 of them. Okay. Webb,
Here.
Reese,
Here.
Burnham, Kendall.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. If you will look at the items there, it's to approve the March 2nd, 21 minutes, approve the March 18th, 21 special meeting minutes, approve March 21 claims, and approve April 21 estimated payroll.
I'll make that motion.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I think Dale may be here. Give me one moment. I'm going to run a check.
Okay. Okay, good deal. Hello, Dale. There we go. There we go.
Finally.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. We're going to go ahead, I think, and finish this motion, and then we're going to swear you in.
Okay.
So we're in the middle of a motion. We had a motion by Ronnie Webb, and I need to know, did we have a second? Billy? So I need a second on the consent agenda.
Reese, second.
Okay, we have a second by Reese. All right, please call for a vote at that time on the consent agenda.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. So at this time, we're going to go back to item number 3. And Dale, if you will, do you have the copy of the oath of office in front of you?
Yeah, got it corrected too.
You got it corrected?
Yeah, the name's spelled right now.
Okay, all right. Would you please repeat after me? Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Okay.
I, and say your name,
I, Dale Burnham,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
and that I will not knowingly
I will not, and that I will not knowingly
receive directly or indirectly
receive directly or indirectly
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable things
for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty
for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than compensation allowed by law.
other than compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as Commissioner of Police, Fire, Cemetery, Sanitation, and Judiciary
my duties as Commissioner, Police, Fire, Cemetery, Sanitation, and Judiciary
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you and congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Dale, if you will sign that piece of paper and
All right.
take it back up to the office sometime for Billy, then she'll be able to get all that notarized and
Okay. It's all-
Okay. Thank you, thank you. And so now, right now, we are on, we just finished the consent agenda through item 8. We're not going to have any further discussion. It's been voted on. So at this point, our remarks, which are remarks and inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item on the agenda. I would like to remind anyone that would like to have a say in this meeting, you're welcome. But I do want to remind you, you have 3 minutes to talk, and that we cannot answer questions, but you can tell us what you want us to know. And that if there's any questions or something that you want to ask somebody later, you can make arrangements with me or the city manager to talk by phone or in person about any questions you may have. But at this point, you're just able to make remarks about anything that's not on the agenda. So do we have anybody at this point that would like to make a comment to the group?
I would if nobody else does.
Well, you can, but you have a point at the end of the meeting where all commissioners and can talk,
Oh, okay, okay,
okay?
okay, oh, okay.
All right, and that, okay. So is there any guests that would like to make comments about anything that's not on the agenda?
Of course, Mary Jane, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I talked to you guys, a couple of you guys today, and first of all, I just want to thank you all for your service. I know the pool's not on the agenda, but having grandkids in Mangum, They're a very special part of my life. Been here forever. I definitely would like to see our pool open. I would be willing to sit on any committees. I would be willing to get a committee together. I've got a lot of people that will help. Fundraisers, workforce, whatever we need to do to get the pool up and running. And I would like to see open meetings to where we can come and the community be involved as to what's going on in our community. Other than that, nothing really. I mean, I'm all for the golf course. I'd like to do both, but
Yeah, anyone, okay, thank you, Cheryl, I appreciate it. Anybody else would like to make a comment?
If I may, can we actually have to put these in the record? So when you speak, if you could please say your name so that we can add that to the minutes.
okay. My name was Cheryl Vineyard. I spoke with you today. It's nice to meet you face to face in person. And I would like to be put on the agenda for next week. I don't know the particulars on how to get on the agenda if there's something I sign, but I definitely like to be on the agenda concerning the pool for the next month's meeting.
Okay,
And I've got an update that I'm going to give everybody during my report, which is in the next segment. So
Okay, thank you.
okay, anybody else? Please, if anybody.
Yes, my name is William Hendricks.
Okay, welcome.
William Hendricks. I just want to introduce myself. I am an alumni of Mangum High School, class of '88. Don't really know many people, but maybe know some of you. My question is, in the park on Colorado Street, is there any way that we can get some kind of facilities put in there or talk about it, like a bathroom or something like that, put in at that park, and maybe get it on the grass cutting schedule with the city?
Well, we can't answer any questions, William, but that's certainly something that we need to hear. And
Okay.
I'm taking notes.
Okay, and the city manager's the one that would handle that. I like putting stuff off on him.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else?
Yes, Dixie Peterson.
Yes.
I'm on kind of the same page. I would just like to, see the pool open for our kids. It's been closed, now 2 summers. They don't have a lot to do here as it is. So same thing, anything we can do to help out the community to try to get that going. Also concerns about the park. It's very dirty. There is no type of adult supervision for a lot of these kids. And so there's a lot of people that take advantage of that. The park has been very nasty. There's a lot of kids that use a lot of foul language, those types of things. So I don't know if we can put a committee together or something to be available to make sure that the park is being taken care of and that the proper parenting and things like that are available for children at the park so our kids can enjoy to be there. Because as a mom of 3, I don't take my kid to the park for that exact reason. It's just, it's a lot of cleanup when you're there and just a lot of different issues. So if we could get on any kind of committee or anything like that to make sure that our kids have a safe place to go and play the pool, the park, just anything so our kids can be involved in their community. Like I said, I'd be glad to help. So would my husband. So anything we can do, that's a lot of my concern that's not on the agenda today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that input. And I know what you're talking about. Okay, anybody else? Any other comments?
Yes, I would like to say something actually. My name is Zach Caffey. I've lived in Mangum for many a year. And what I would like to bring up is kind of just the same consensus as just about everybody else that's been talking thus far. I would really like to actually see the pool open. I think it's extremely beneficial to all the kids. It's a great moneymaker, or at least I assume it is. I know it takes a little bit to keep it running, but I think every city, town, anything like that really needs to have something that really can bring the community together and involve everybody, even if it's just to hang out and swim and have fun and all that. And I do believe that the the golf course has, of course, its own draw. It brings in some people from out of town, especially, I guess, after the lake shut down their golf course. But I just feel that, well, I will just say that I used to work actually at the golf course there for a while, and looking at financial records, I don't know if we're allowed to necessarily discuss that. I know it's public knowledge and all that, but I know that the golf course creates a huge deficit in the city budget every year without really recouping any of the loss that goes into keeping that establishment running. So I really feel that maybe taking the resources from the golf course or doing something. I would love the kids get out there. I love that they like to go and hit and everything like that. Maybe we can keep the driving range open and, you know, pull the some of the funds that we have set aside for the golf course and reinvest them back into our park, back into our community, our streets, our electricity, our substructure. I feel that there can be a lot of really great avenues that we can take to better utilize those funds. So that's really all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Appreciate
Yes.
your input. Anyone else? No other comments? Getting ready to go on. Okay, so if we don't have any more comments or anything, we're going to go on to item number 9, financial report from the city manager.
Okay, make sure I'm unmuted. Yes, I am. Let's go to here. And so here's my financial report for April. For those of you who are new to come into these meetings, we always report 2 months behind, and that's because we're getting our reports from the state 2 months behind. So any reporting that I'm giving you now is actually from February. So in February, sales tax numbers were at 50,000 to 90. Use tax is up to 12,600. And of course, other revenue in our transfers in, that leaves us at 168,000 for the month. Expenditures are at 121. That gives us a monthly fund balance of 46,700. The MUA, of course, this is our time where our expenditures are going to be higher than our revenues. That's normal. It's expected. Revenues for the month of February were 307,000 and our expenditures were 418,000. And you can see that it's within that 10% margin over last year, and really no big expectation of change. The reason for the increase over last month is because of a debt payment that's always due in February. So for the year, down here on the bottom, you'll see for the general fund, we're at 185,000 in the green, and for the utility authority, we're at 61,000 in the green. So we're actually doing a pretty good shape. So here is the sales tax numbers for the year and visualized in a graph form. We are sitting at 50,000. That's a pretty good place to be. From last year, we were sitting around 44,000. We've seen some really good numbers this year, and I think all of us were really surprised at that. And that's because folks are shopping in town, and we want to continue that trend. Use tax. We actually broke a record for the month of February. Went up to 12,600. This is fantastic. Previous record was back in June at 10,800. So it's been an amazing run for this year for our taxes. So that is it for my financial report. For those that are waiting, and let me close this out here. Sorry, stop my share. For those who are waiting to hear what I have to say, I wanted it to kind of be a happy surprise for everybody, but I was in touch. I got in touch with somebody got in touch with me, I should say, that has offered up some private funding and has offered to find more private funding to get the pool open. That was a conversation that we had a week ago, and I have reached out to the manufacturer of the pool. That's Paddock Pools. They are going to come out on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and we're going to tour that pool together, and we're going to figure out exactly what it's going to take to get it back to working. We know that there are some cracks that need to be sealed, and we know that it needs to be repainted. We know that there's a couple of ladders that need to be worked on. We also know that there's some work that needs to be done in the chemical room. And I'm not sure exactly what all of that is. I'm not the pool guy. So that's why we're bringing that guy in. His name is Don. And they're the company that put that pool together 10 years ago. And they actually were the original builders of the pool 25 or 30 years ago after it was refabbed. So they've worked on it twice before, and I trust that they're going to come out and do us a solid and make this thing work. He has assured me that he will do everything in his power to get those numbers to us quickly and to be able to turn that around quickly so that we can open the pool this year. The one concern I do have is, and I don't want to start advertising it yet until we know exactly how much it's going to cost, because the donors, we don't know how much this is, and I don't know where the donors are willing to go with it. But I will say that once we get the total price and we can have that conversation, we're going to start advertising for a pool manager to make sure that the schedule is working and that the pool is operating properly. And we're going to need some lifeguards. So where I'm going to ask the community for some help and support is to reach out to the community, find some folks that really want to do this, that are willing to put some time and effort in and become lifeguard certified, and put some time in at the pool themselves to run it. And trust me, you don't want me to do that because I can't swim. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with the pool. I kind of wanted that to be a happy yay for everybody. But I knew that there was going to be a group here tonight, and I was like, oh, wow. And then of course you were allowed to talk before I could, so I couldn't just bring that up at the time. So that is the extent of that. I will talk the rest of this at the end of the meeting during my segment there.
Okay, so you've done 9 and 10. I know you've done 9. What about?
Yep, 9 and 10. That covers
okay.
9 and 10.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dave. That is some good news. And I've already had people calling me about the pool and wanting to help do some funding too, besides the other people that we had visited with. So the people in Mangum, when they pull together, they do a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, so we will keep everybody informed as the time goes on. And Dave, is this something you can post on the Facebook page?
Absolutely. And I want to encourage everybody
on the website.
On the website, and anything that we post on the news channel on the website, we also we push that over to our Facebook page as well. So I want to encourage everybody to follow us on the City of Mangum Facebook page, as well as come and check out the new website. We launched that website on January 1st, and it's been a great success. We've had a lot of positive comments on that website, and we're doing everything we can to keep active and keep that website alive with up-to-date information. We're pushing out any kind of emergency information that goes out on the website, and it goes on Facebook instantly afterwards. So I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and sign up for Facebook and follow us, and we'll get the information as quickly as we can get it out.
Thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate that. We're going on to the next item, ordinances and resolutions. Number 11, approve the resolution 2021-28, amending the budget for the library fund for state aid. Okay, do I have a motion to approve that resolution?
I'd make that motion.
Can you give me a brief of what that resolution is, or what that amendment is?
Dave, you want to comment on that? You're muted. You're muted.
We have a motion on the table, so it probably needs to be
Yeah,
seconded.
we have to get a motion.
Discussion. We
Okay.
need a second to do discussion.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, we have it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Who made the motion?
Webb,
Okay. Can I call for a vote, please, then?
Oh,
No call
hang
for
on.
discussion.
Discussion.
It says approve a resolution. Okay,
So I'll give you the background on this. Every year we get state aid from the Oklahoma Department of Libraries. This resolution simply adds that amount of money to our budget. So it increases our budget by 6,100 and it's 18. Thank you. Right off the top of my head. It increases the budget to allow for us to take that money in from the state.
Okay.
So we have to do resolutions, and as we go through, you're going to have a lot of these resolutions as we get fire department aid, as we get donations, as the time goes through. We do a lot of budget resolutions to increase.
Yeah, no, that broad strokes was all I needed, Dave. I appreciate that. That's the one
Sure
I did.
thing.
So thank you.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for a vote, please?
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Going on to item number 12, discussion and possible action to approve the resolution 2021-29, amending the budget for the insurance money from City Hall and the Welcome Center from the flooding. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Burnham. Okay, now discussion. Somebody want to kind of
Sure,
explain?
I got it.
Okay.
This is to accept the $47,309 that we received from the insurance company to fix the Welcome Center, as well as this one's just for the Welcome Center and City Hall. We still have some outstanding insurance claims waiting on the Armory. We've got one large use out of this already, and that was the emergency mitigation that we received from Dry Right. That was in the amount of $24,000. We had to pay that right out of the get-go because, of course, it was an emergency. So all this is doing is just accepting that money from the insurance carrier to put the Welcome Center back together. I'll take any questions.
Anybody have any questions about the Welcome Center or the City Hall damages or?
Do we know if the Welcome Center insurance, this is maybe a little bit of a sidebar, did that cover any of the equipment that was inside of the building or just the structure itself?
So any equipment that was in there, anything that was damaged, the only problem is we're still trying to figure out exactly what that's going to entail for the Chamber of Commerce. If we're going to cover that or if their insurance has to cover that. And we're still working that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay. All right. Going on, let's see. I did call for a vote, didn't I, Billy?
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, okay. Call for a vote, please.
Webb,
Oh, sorry, Billy. I thought I heard you say my name, but I wasn't sure. Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 13, discussion on quotes received for installing heating and air conditioning at the annual animal shelter. The funding for this project comes from the FY 2021 REAP grant received in January. These quotes that were received, Payne's Heating and Air was $6,800. Shelburne Heat and Air in Hobart, $10,820, and Wright Heating and Air did not send in a quote.
Is it open for
Let's see,
discussion, Mary Jane?
That's what I'm trying to decide, Dave or Corey. Can we go ahead and discuss it now, or do I have to call for?
You
No,
can
I believe-
discuss.
I think we can discuss this because the actual motion is in the
He's
second.
on 14, yeah, so this one's
That's
just
what I thought.
discussion.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and discuss. What questions would you have for discussion?
Well, let me just open it up here real quick. We received we applied for the REAP grant back in September. So at that time, we weren't expecting that this was going to take so long, but we applied for it and we received up to $10,800 for this. But any amount that we don't use, so if we utilize Payne's Heat and Air for this, any money that we don't give or we don't use has to go back to the Department of Commerce. We can't use that for any other projects, nor can we go back and amend our REAP grant request. So either way, we're covered by the REAP grant. This is not going to come out of our budget at all. But if we do go with our local Payne's Heat and Air, then we're going to have to give back about $4,000 to the state. And that's fine. That's easy to do.
In other words, it was enough money to do the job. And
It was,
outside-
yeah, we've got enough. We received enough in the grant to do the job no matter who did it.
Oh, okay.
So-
As long as it was enough, I don't mind giving some back. It's that
Yep.
going back and trying to get some extra back that we're not going to get. Okay.
There you go.
So Dave, looking at the two quotes, is it a different size air conditioner? Is it just labor that's the difference?
I want to say that there's no difference in. I mean, it's a different manufacturer that they're gonna put in, but I think what you're seeing is a lower bid from a local guy that wants to do the job.
Okay.
So
I have a question for Corey because of the other letter. Are we allowed to vote on this because we didn't have full bids?
Yeah, I mean, you got what bids you got.
Okay.
yeah, we reached out for 3, and we did not receive within any timely fashion. In fact, I don't think we ever received a third bid from Wrights.
So what if Payne gets in there and there's more to do? Like maybe there's something else he didn't see. Would they?
Any amount, we won't pay it back until the job is done.
And once accepted, they're stuck plus or
That's
minus
true.
15%.
Okay.
So it can't go up any higher than 15%, or we cannot reduce it by any more than 15%.
Even if there was something, like if they found something, like say they thought there was something there that's not there.
Right. And this is,
Correct.
I can say that this is a pretty straightforward job. When you walk into the animal shelter, it's one big open bay. So there's no hidden issues here. It's literally a pipe going into the building and the air conditioning unit. So that's it.
Yeah, they're both
Okay.
full-ton units, and I'm sure they're going to have similar warranties. So
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, on item number 14 says to approve the best, most responsible bid for installation of heating and air conditioning at the animal shelter as discussed on the previous item. Approve the quote received from, and do we have somebody who would like to
Make that motion.
make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve Payne's bid for $6,800.
Second.
Is that what you?
We have a motion, we have a second,
Yes.
okay? And therefore, Billy, would you go ahead and call for a vote, please?
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
yes,
Kendall,
Yes.
and Burnham.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Number 15, discussion and possible action regarding the future of the Mangum Golf Course. Okay. Dave?
Well, so we we have to bring this up now because we're at an impasse or sort of a crossroads on some money that we're going to have to put out. Originally, when we were talking about this, that we weren't going to make a decision until June. And that was the decision we made back in December. But there was something that had come up in between here and there, and that is we're going to have to get a lease for golf carts. That's going to be about $16,000 that we're going to be out. And I don't want to put that money out for that lease if the board is going to go ahead and decide to close it. Because if we get into a lease, and this is in talking with Greg, who runs the Altus golf course, if you get into a lease with these guys, it's virtually impossible to get out of it. You're going to be stuck with them for 3 to 5 years. So we needed to have a discussion on this. And Travis and I went down to the golf course. I don't want to give my opinion. I'd rather Travis give his and talk through his opinion. But I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Travis.
I've talked to, and I hope everybody can hear me. I've talked to quite a few golfers that are in the area and have played here. I've played at this golf course for 29 years. Love the course, played thousands of rounds, but in this position, to me, it doesn't look feasible to continue. And I hate to say that because I'd give anything to have that golf course out there, but the number of golfers that we have in this community has declined over the years, and equipment continues to increase, labor costs continue to increase. And, you know, if it was something to where we could estimate that we were going to have enough play and enough golfers to where the city maybe had to supplement just a small amount to keep this within our community and have it as a amenity, you know, for others to see, because at one time we had the best greens around, and then I would be all for it and I would push for it. But looking at the numbers and the possibilities, and I've talked to quite a few people and said, man, if you can come up with some financial way we can keep this open, let me know before the April meeting, because I'm afraid we're going to have to pull the plug on it. And I have not had anyone come up with a plan.
And I'll give my 2 cents. I mean, I voted no.
Okay, go ahead.
I voted no at the last meeting to fund the contract. I do think that the money can be spent elsewhere. We have a lot of kiddos in the community. We have things that we can do for upkeep. I firmly believe it's time to unfortunately pull that plug.
Dave, has anybody talked to the alumni? Has anybody talked to the school that's got kids out there playing? Has anybody talked to the players that's got
there's a separate issue, and that is if we
I'm saying if they're interested in it and wanting it, then talk to them.
Well, and let me finish.
Maybe we can help them a little bit, but not support it. And the golf course will still be there for the high school. It'll still be there for the alumni. It'll still be there for the members. So a lot of things that we could do with that money that's being spent on it. Streets, you got to hire people to help to keep the city going now. And another place that you might think about helping these kiddos, they can't get in the pool. We got a great big armory down there that I used to stomp around in for about 5 years, that you could take the insides of it, make some ball.
Dale, I don't mean to cut you off, but we need to direct it back to the golf course because that's what the agenda item is.
I'm saying though, you can take a lot of that money that's going to the golf course and do other things with it that is needed worse than a golf course.
And what I'm so I have had interest. I've had somebody call me and say, hey, if you close it, is there a possibility that we may be able to lease it?
No, okay.
I can't talk about that because it's who that is, where that came from, and what the possibilities are in that. I don't know. So it was just a, hey, what's going to happen if we close it? And the discussion, that initial discussion was, if I can find a bunch of guys that want to get together and keep it open, can we lease it?
Yeah.
So that's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, let's say
what this is about on this agenda item is, do we want to continue the path that we're on right now?
No.
And that is spending money on a golf course that we don't feel is ever going to make a profit. So
not to go back to I went back, it's a hopeless case.
I'm a golfer too, and I don't want to close it. I'll be honest with you.
Hey,
I love the game, and I just, but
I like
it's a business decision.
But hey, when you can't afford it, you can't afford it. I like it. I'd like to have a brand new car, but I can't afford it. But hey, no.
I don't.
Dave, are you? Oh, go ahead, Travis.
I don't think there's anybody that's opposed to pulling the plug on the golf course. I do hope that, maybe that the possibility of a lease and having someone else sounds like a great idea to me.
Okay, Dave, are we supposed to go ahead and make a decision right now regarding the future of the golf course? Or?
I think we need to, and the reason is because if we are going to continue, then I need to know that so that I can order the carts. And that's an expense. It's going to be a large expense. Or we don't have that expense and we save it. If we save it, that gets rolled over, that golf cart expense gets rolled into the vehicle fleet management. And that's great, because fleet management can always use more money in there to help us fund vehicles.
So
where I need a decision is to know whether I'm going to go ahead and start that lease, or if we're going to discontinue. Greg at West Texas Turf knows this is coming. He knows that we're about to talk about this, so that he's understanding of it, and he's actually offered that if we are in this situation and we do want to go ahead and close it down, that he would not hold us to the rest of that contract through July 1st. He'd actually give us back the 2 months, May and June. So we wouldn't have to pay those. Now that's going to really help us out too.
Okay, are there any other comments from anybody on keeping or not keeping the golf course? Okay. Well, at this point on number 15, it's a possible action regarding the future of the Mangum Golf Course. Is there any motion that anyone would like to make at this point?
I'll make a motion, Dave, go ahead with this lease thing and close it down. They can get it leased. Great.
You said discontinue the.
You want me to discontinue the agreement with West Texas Turf?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and not approve the lease agreement with the golf carts?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. I just want to clarify the motion though.
Okay.
The motion is to discontinue our contract and not enter into a lease agreement.
That's correct.
Okay. Then
that
I
is
would
my understanding of what Mr. Burnham has said.
And the lease agreement is with the carts.
As with the golf carts, yes.
Okay. Then I would second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Okay. Billy, would you call for a vote?
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries at this time.
Travis, Travis, I know how hard that was.
Yeah, it was hard. It was, I could tell it was going.
I was going to vote yes, but I didn't want to second it.
I'm with you, Travis.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay, we're going to go on to item number 16, presentation and discussion with regard to the Mangum Reunion and Music Festival by Karen Brown. Is Karen here?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. We just wanted to, we do this reunion every year, the Saturday of Rattlesnake Derby weekend. This year, we wanted to request to get this Colorado Street blocked so we wouldn't have issues with kids going across the street and traffic going through that area. And so we were also requesting to have restrooms there, portable potties for the tenants to use during the festival.
Now, Karen, were you talking about the city having to pay for restrooms for your event?
Well, I mean, it would be
The city
nice
doesn't have any.
What?
Okay, well, we can pay for our own restrooms, but our initial call was is just to get permission for us to be able to block off Colorado Street from Taft to, I think that's Roosevelt Street.
Yeah, Taft Roosevelt.
Yes.
So Dave,
no
clarify.
bathrooms down there. That's we were also wanting to know if that we will pay for our own bathrooms because there wasn't any at the park. That's why we figured we just ask.
So Dave, just a clarifying question, because this has come up before. I thought we had previously voted.
Ronnie, hang on a second. Ronnie, I need to mute somebody because there's some clicking going on and I'm going to go through it until I get it done.
That must have been it because it stopped.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. I don't mean to cut anybody off. There was really bad clicking and I couldn't hear anything.
So I thought previously we had voted to allow you the authority to do so. Close streets.
The closing of streets is one thing. This is something different because we've set the precedence at the last meeting about whether organizations are going to be allowed to go ahead and use public property during this pandemic. And that was by approving the Rattlesnake Derby and approving the alumni. The whole purpose of this is to get them on the floor so that we can approve them just the same. And I can approve and I can work through the closure of the street. What I can't do is approve an exemption to the ruling on open gatherings.
So then the question's then different. So then
it is a little different than what's been brought up, but and I apologize to everybody that's here. When it was brought to me, that's what it was brought to me as, can they have the event? I couldn't say yes because the precedent was set by this commission at the last meeting by approving, by requesting the request to approve the Rattlesnake Derby and the request to approve the Alumni Association meeting. I can't bypass that precedent now and wanted to put that on the agenda so that we can discuss that. The closing of the streets is easy. We can do that. I've got my law enforcement's ready to do it. They say they can control that, no problem. And this has been an ongoing event. I'm sorry to say it's the first time I've heard of it, and I'm excited for this to happen.
So do we just need a motion?
Sorry?
I would just need an emotion to go ahead and allow the
Well,
I'm answering Ronnie's questions. So
yeah, and I have a few more. I mean,
go ahead.
Just like we did with the alumni and stuff. I'm just curious how many people they expect. What are we doing this with regards to people control? Are you going to require masks? Are you not? Things like that. That's just for me. I don't know that anybody else wants to know, but I asked that of the alumni and I asked that of the Rattlesnake, and I feel like we need to know that information as well.
Okay, yes, everybody will be required to wear a mask unless actively eating or drinking. We will have sanitation stations so that people can use hand sanitizer to wipe their hands off. And then crowd control. We want individuals of the same household, of course, to be sitting in the same areas, and that's what we will try to encourage. But that's all we can do is encourage that. And we're not sure exactly how many people would show up. In the past events, we've had anywhere from 50 to 75, 80 people show up to the event, but it's an outdoor event. As long as we're spaced out, we're wearing masks. It's okay and recommended by the CDC.
Ms. Brown, thank you so much for having those answers. That helps me.
Mhm.
Okay. Now at this time, is there any other discussion, questions or anything to Karen? Okay. On number 17, possible action on the presentation by Karen Brown in regards to the Mangum Reunion and Music Festival. That means
Motion
is there
to
a
approve.
motion to approve it?
Second.
Make a motion, we approve.
Reese has made a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. And so therefore, Billy, would you call for a vote? Any more discussion? If not, Billy, call
Hang
for a
on.
vote.
Miss Brown, if you would, real quick, you wanted the streets blocked from Taft to where?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
I think that's Roosevelt.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there's no other inlet or outlet roads in that stretch. It's the park kind of right in front of the park. The road that
Yep,
goes-
right.
You're just wanting the park blocked off is basically it.
Basically.
Okay.
Yes. And the only person I think that lives in that area is Candy Williams, who's on here tonight,
Yes, she
who
is.
will be attending the reunion.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion?
I have a comment on the reunion. I just want to say this, for us, it's a Mangum reunion, so it's open to anyone who it's from Mangum, so it's not just a certain crowd, it's for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody can come enjoy it.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, Billy, would you call for a vote, please? Need to unmute.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. And Karen, I hope you guys have a good time and just be in contact with the city hall about the blocking off the streets and stuff like that in details. So
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you.
thank you. Okay. On down to the next item on the agenda is number 18, discussion on the nominees for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group Board. Do we have to be on that?
Hey,
Dave, you're muted.
I know. I just saying I have to unmute myself. We are supposed to provide 2 nominees up to OMAG to fill those seats. My recommendation to the board, if you so choose to hear it, is to go with the incumbents. That's Mr. Bartlett and Mr. Stevenson. They're both highly qualified individuals, and they've done a great job for us in the past.
Okay. All right. Any discussion on any of the nominees? I mean, if you're like me, I don't really know them, but
About this foreigner.
any questions? Okay, so let's go on to 19, motion to elect those 2 nominees as the trustee for the Municipal Assurance Group Board. Do I have a motion for the 2 names that were presented? You want to tell us those names again, Dave?
Yeah, and you can just go with the incumbents.
Okay, incumbents.
make a
Okay.
motion that
Is there anybody like to make that motion?
It's
to elect the 2 current incumbents as
Okay,
Miss-
motion by Reese to elect the 2 incumbents.
It's Mr. Mike Bailey and Craig Stevenson.
Mike Bailey and Craig Stevenson. Okay. Let's see, did we have a second? Did we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second by Kendall. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, please call for a vote.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Now we're going on to the next item is executive session, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session in accordance with the 20 Oklahoma State 307B3, specifically for the discussion of the offer to buy property received by the state of Oklahoma and located at 130 North Oklahoma in Mangum. Such property is proposed for the purpose of relocating city administration, utility customer service, court, and police department. The property is on the southwest corner of the intersection of Oklahoma and Pierce, directly opposite the existing city hall. So we need,
If you may, ma'am, if I may, we don't actually have to go into executive session. Normally you would for real estate terms, but this is a non-negotiable rate. It's a non-negotiable item on the side of how much the building will be. I don't think there's any reason for us to go into a closed door deal. I think we can have that conversation in the open. I think the people need to hear it and hear what the idea is and what we're going to get.
okay, why don't, at this point, do I have a motion?
I don't think we need a motion.
We don't even need a motion, do we? Because we're just
discussing.
We're just discussing. We're not taking any action. No action? That's right.
So the action will be in the next one. But for the purpose of this, as we all know, there's been some discussion with the state of Oklahoma to purchase the building 130 North Oklahoma, and that was the DHS of Greer County. I had been notified that was going to be emptied and vacant back in I believe it was June or July. And so we started asking questions and we started kind of getting some idea of what that time frame would be, how that would work. And we learned a lot during that process of how this works. The state of Oklahoma is required to give a city, state, or county government first dibs on purchasing the building. The building has to be purchased for the fair market value of the building. Then that appraisal was done by the state. The appraised value of the building came back at $250,000. The state is also throwing in and donating all office furniture, all equipment, all and when I say all, I mean there's probably in excess of $150,000 worth of supplies, office furniture, equipment, the rolling file indexer itself is probably $90,000. The building is in great condition. It comes with a security system installed. There's a keypad entry into all of the back areas. You cannot go beyond the lobby without having keypad entry, that's great for security. It's move-in ready, and it covers us for ADA compliance, which has been really my number one goal since coming to the city is to figure out a way to get us compliant with ADA. We have a large population in this town of folks that are in wheelchairs or use walkers or just have mobility issues. And it's absolutely unsat that those folks don't have access to City Hall. And this has given us the opportunity For those who don't know, we had a little history where we were trying to find a different place, and we were discussing moving out to the New Hope building because it was ADA compliant as well. That didn't go over well. In fact, it kind of went over like a ton of bricks into a pond. And the resounding words that we heard was it needs to stay in downtown. We cannot abandon downtown. Well, then this opportunity shows up. You can't get any more downtown than where we're already at, and across the street from where we're already at. So it's a win-win for the city. It's a win for the state. It's a win for the community. It's a win for ADA compliance. And we set funding aside for this. That's the funding we received as a reimbursement for FY 2020 police, fire, and emergency services costs. We put that money aside for this purpose, and so we have the money set aside. We're ready to do it. All I need from you is approval to go forward with the purchase, or you tell me to cease, and I will cease and desist. And I would love to hear comments from those who are still with us about your thoughts on it. And normally we would want to do this in a open forum, but this is really the best we can get. And it's a great opportunity because we have more people in this meeting than we normally would have. So if there are comments from the floor, I'd love to hear it.
Dave, I do want to say something.
Sure.
Greer County's losing, or we have lost our Department of Human Services, but to see this building not to go to waste is amazing. The inside of the building, the outside of the building, it's in great repair. The air conditioning and heating units are wonderful. Myself working inside that building for 13 years, I would hate to see this building turn out like something else around the square. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Mangum. And I just want to put that out there, because the last thing I ever wanted was DHS to go away. But it has. And I just don't want to see this building turn out like some of the other buildings that we have.
And I can also, just to give kind of what is going to happen if we do it. What's going to happen if we do it is that City Hall, which includes the city clerk, myself, the accounts payable, utility customer service, courts, all of us will move out of City Hall and move into that building, leaving that floor vacant in City Hall. And we're not going to let that go to waste either. So currently the fire department, their break room and their break area is in the apparatus bay on the floor. And OSHA would love to have a field day on us for allowing that to happen. They need a spot where they can have a kitchen, where they can, just like any other fire department. And this is going to give us the opportunity to expand the fire department, give them the space that they need to have offices, real offices, not an office and a kitchen in the apparatus bay. The apparatus bay is where the fire trucks are and where all of your bunker gear and all of that is maintained and stored. There's fumes in there, and it's not someplace you really want to be. It's not someplace you should be relaxing and spending any time. So by moving us out of City Hall, that opens up that space for the fire department to go ahead and have for office space, and we'll set aside funding. We hope to have some funding coming in very soon from another COVID relief package that's coming. And that would give us the opportunity to revamp that building, as well as add a space within the DHS building to house our commission chambers and our courtroom. Currently, those are being done in the annex, and it's really a wasted space, and it doesn't work as well as it should. So this will give us the opportunity to have an actual space for public meetings, which we're really looking forward to getting back to. And that the cost of that, which we don't really have how much the addition is going to cost us, but I think it's worth looking into this now, getting the building now while it's available to us, and coming back with the cost of adding on the commission building, or the commission chambers and courtroom. I can't believe that it's going to be that much just for the sake of it's adding one wall. It's extending one wall out and then it's done. So I don't see that being very much, but that is my information that I have, and I would love to hear from you.
Dave, is that building big enough to house everybody that should be in it?
We are going from approximately 1,800 square feet to 7,250 square feet.
Don't tell everybody how big.
The police department will also move in with us. They are currently in about a 600 square foot space that their office is really only about 100 square feet. That they share with 6 officers. This is going to give them an opportunity to have, the chief will have an office, the assistant chief will have an office, and then the officers will have a space. And then they'll also have an interrogation room.
That was something else that I'd heard rumors of. Is our city police still going to maintain the dispatching?
That is something, and it's going to be under negotiation. We're going to have to figure out a way to pay for that. Because
so let me get this straight. If y'all move there, that would do away with our dispatch?
No, it will not.
No.
It will not.
Are we going to go off and leave one dispatcher down there from the police department at the jail that belongs to the county?
Well, the dispatch itself belongs to the county. The employees belong to us, which is why we have to start negotiating with the county on what we're going to do there and how we're going to handle that.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we are not going to turn off dispatch. We're not going to flip the switch and say no more. That's not going to happen.
Okay, you haven't got that part of it straightened out yet. Okay.
Nope. And that's, we've been having preliminary talks with the county to say, hey, look, this is coming. We're going to have to figure out a way to start paying for this. So, yeah.
Okay, I do have a question. So this is COVID relief money, right?
Yes, it's COVID reimbursement.
Okay, and it can be used for what? For our city?
It can be used for anything. And because it was 2021 or 2020 fiscal year funding, we can put it wherever we need to because we're now in 2021 when we received it.
Okay, and I agree 100% with Ronnie that I don't want to see these buildings in Mangum go to waste. Mm-hmm. But I do know that there is other areas that are suffering terrible in our city. I mean, I 100% am for the fire department, the police department. I would definitely like to see that as an opportunity, but I'm hearing things about our water, that we're in bad shape. And I just don't know that spending all of that money that our city needs to operate on is, because apparently our city is not, if we're having to close all these other facilities and we're going to buy, and no one's been to work for a year. I mean, I'm not being cantankerous, or I haven't been here. I should have been here before. More people should be involved. But I mean, I definitely think that, if you're going to purchase a building of that value, that there needs to be people at work, and that it needs to be, operated a little differently to where there's more involvement for the community. But our water is a big issue right now. I've just had several people, that's just what everybody's talking about. And to me, water is like very, 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 very important. I mean,
well, we had, and you say water, Cheryl, are you talking about the water line breaks? Are you talking about the quality of the water? What are you talking about? Because we know we've got our infrastructure for water is bad, and that's all they've been doing since October is fixing water breaks and all
And
that.
most of this is coming from within itself, you know, just word of mouth. The people that are working on these lines say that we're in trouble. Mangum's in trouble. If this and that, I don't want to be one to bring this stuff up, but I just want to make sure that this is a necessity above all else.
So Cheryl, I'll just tell you, I think it is a necessity for me. I think this is a necessity for Mangum, and I think it goes twofold. First, I don't want to see another building go to waste, but number two, we're going to be able to.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm losing you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can now.
But I agree. And we have done talks in the past, and we have voted on issues with regards to water, our water and what needs to be done. And there were some plans in place that we were looking at for those things. I think we have an opportunity today that will not offer itself again. And that's my concern. We have an opportunity today that we're able to. I really think this fell in our lap. I know Mary Jane has toured, and so has Dave, the office space and stuff like that. I get your concern, but I think this is something that we should do because it's presented itself, and it's a good deal. But the other part of that too, I'm not discounting that there are other issues within the city that we need to continue to work on. The closing down of the golf course. Yeah, the golf course and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you, we funneled a lot of money in that for a very long time, and nobody's been able to really play that for a long time.
Yeah, but one of the reasons is it was closed to the public. I mean, we were putting money into something that's closed, and that's kind of what I'm basing my theory on right now. And I 100% am behind you, Ronnie.
Yeah.
But if we're going to buy this building, we need to have people there working.
There will be.
Oh, there will be.
Oh, there will be. And
Because
City Hall is going to be opening very soon.
soon.
We will be open within the next 3 weeks. All of us are going to be back to work. We will be back in City Hall before this is actually finished and finalized, and we go through, because we have to go through the final, what is that called? My brain just went right down the tubes.
Closing.
The closing, yeah. The closing is going to take us a month to do. So we will be back to work well before this building closes, and we'll be there putting it all together.
Yes, and I please, guys, I know every one of you guys, I don't want any of y'all to think that I'm trying to cause any problems one way, shape, or form. It's just, I should have been involved in the community along with the other people a long time to know what is going on with our community, because it's really getting to be, it's sad for our little community. And of course, now being a grandmother of 4 kids that will grow up in Mangum, I mean, I want to see it flourish. So I just want to know what's going on. I'm not trying to be cantankerous or cause any problems at all. I just want to be in the know of what's going on.
So that means you have to come to all the meetings, Cheryl.
I will be there.
We like people coming.
Yeah, we do.
Bring a whole bunch of people with you so we get some opinions going.
Or they can always call and ask a question too.
Yes, Mary Jane. I've been burning up her phone. Bless her heart.
No, that's okay. All right. Any other discussion? If not, at this point, we need to go ahead and take some action on for Dave to go ahead with the process of, do I use the word purchase, or what's the word I use? Purchase the building at 130 North Oklahoma.
I'd make the motion that we give Dave the authority to purchase the building at 130 North Oklahoma Avenue in the amount of $250,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. We've had issues with the city hall and police department for a long time, so I'm glad to see that we've got an opportunity to improve the situation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, Billy, would you go ahead and call for a vote, please?
You're muted.
Webb.
There you go.
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The next thing on the agenda is just the staff and board remarks. Is there anybody that would have any remarks or that they would like to make at this time?
The city does.
Okay,
So I'm going to propose to do, and if I can get a nod of heads that this will work for everybody, that we do the budget retreat on April 20th. That will give everybody an opportunity to say, hey, here's where our priorities are. I've already put my priorities down as my recommendations, but I need to hear from you what your priorities are. And that will give us an opportunity to talk those through and not have to be hurried along by any other form of meeting. This will be separate. And again, I'm looking for April 20th at 6 p.m.
anybody have a problem with that? I
Okay.
know you may not have your calendar with you, but
And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll pencil that in and say, yes, that's the way we're going to do it. The public hearing, we are pushing for May 11th. That'll be where we finalize all of the aspects of the budget, and I will provide you with a draft, and that'll give us time until June 1st, where we will adopt the budget at our regular scheduled meeting.
Dave.
11.
Yeah, May 11th for the public hearing and the budget adoption on June 1st.
Dave, on that 20th, is that something we can do in person?
If that's the, I work at the pleasure of the board.
I would like to do that in person personally, since it'll go into executive session.
Yes. I got a whole bunch of phone calls. Is there any way that the city, when we have these meetings and everything, could get it published in the paper? Got a whole bunch of phone calls as soon as they found out that I had been elected. And that was one of their main questions. Instead of having to go downtown and read it on a piece of paper on a bulletin board, the meetings, open meetings, can they be published in the paper so everybody that gets the paper can see it?
Well, so yes, we can publish, and in fact, it's published online.
Well, everybody don't have a computer, and then it does like me. I'm kind of a little bit illiterate on it.
But what we can't do, what we do is we have a deadline of our agendas.
Yeah.
The agendas have to be done by, as far as people bringing stuff in, have to be done by Wednesday. Well, the deadline for the paper is Wednesday. So we don't even have we won't have the agenda done until Friday, and that's usually around noon. So the paper has already been written and published and distributed by the time we're pushing out the agenda.
If you publish it next week's paper, that's a week ahead of.
That would mean we would have to we would have to have the agenda 2 weeks prior to the meeting. And trust me, there's way too much that happens in between if we did it 2 weeks early, there's too much that's going to happen in between that 2 week point where we publish it to the paper and where we need to have a meeting, which
Dale, one of the things, Dale, let me say something right quick. Dale, what we can do at some point, we can periodically, like once a quarter, publish the agenda, not the agenda, but just publish the dates. So that we can put it in a paper, just publish the dates.
And we do that.
People will know the date. They won't know what the agenda is, but they will know the dates of each one of the meetings. Now, the meetings are the first Tuesday of every month.
Yeah.
So as far as going to a meeting, all they really have to know is that the first Tuesday of every month, we're going to have a city council meeting.
But there's a lot of people didn't know that. Did you know that?
Well, you know, it's been that way for probably 100 years.
I bet of the 20 people that I talked to this week, I bet nearly a third of them didn't know that the first Tuesday of every month was a meeting.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, yeah, it's every Tuesday. And they says, it is.
The first Tuesday of every month is the
Been
city
that way
council.
forever, and they still didn't know it.
Isn't that something?
And I told them, I said, well, it's posted on the bulletin board down there at the meeting rooms. And they said, well, I didn't know that was there either.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the meetings, I mean, if you don't do it, but just once a month, say, hey, we got a meeting first Tuesday of this month or next month. I mean, at least they've been notified that there is a meeting if it's their own fault if we don't make it.
Well, and there's, we've also had some talk of putting up a public information board, one of those like what the high school has.
Yeah.
And I'm really wanting to get with the high school to figure out how much that cost and where they got it, because there are a lot of people that don't read the paper, and I've been dealing with that today with some folks that I've talked to. They don't read the paper. They don't want to read the paper. That's their personal thing. The paper has been. They've been pretty good to us as a city. They've published articles of what we're doing and what's going on, but I can't tell the paper what to and not to publish.
Can I say one thing?
Oh, please.
I mean, I'm not on the board by any means, but the majority of our city is elderly.
Cheryl, I hate to cut you off, but this agenda item is remarks by the board members.
Thank you, Corey.
But no, it's another thing you might look into is like the signs like the bank's got.
That's what he's talking about.
And he said the school, but the bank has got little signs that runs around the top there. And you can put the dates on that.
So Dale, when you get all that extra money that you usually have, then you can give it to us and we'll put up one of those signs.
Okay, you get the first paycheck next month. No, it's there's a lot of ways to advertise other than the newspaper.
Well, that's something we'll definitely.
The school sign is a good one.
Yeah.
And also,
they got a lot of donations to help pay for that. Travis can tell you all about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. Thank you. Any other comments, questions from the board or the city manager, the city attorney? If not, is there any new business?
Nothing from the city.
Nothing from the city. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I
need a motion to adjourn.
I'd make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Adam, don't leave.
Okay.
Don't leave because we still have another meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to, sorry, I wanted to make sure.
We have.
Don't hit that button.
Billy, would you go ahead and talk about?
Webb,
Yes.
Reese. Reese,
Yes.
Okay.
Kendall,
Yes.
Burnham.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. And Billy, do you gonna need a few minutes to get ready for the MUA?
Just a minute, yeah.
Okay, so when Billy gets ready, then we will start the MUA. So we will have a couple of minutes here. She's got to get her computer ready to take the minutes. Okay, we're ready to go. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Mangum Utility Authority on April the 6th of 2021. Roll call, please.
What happened to all my things? Well, I do it on paper. It didn't put them on there. Scott,
Here.
Burnham,
Dale, are you there? He's got his thing muted. Adam's got his thing muted.
Adam must have got up for a minute. What about Webb,
Here.
Reeves, Reese,
Here.
whoever you are, huh?
Give him a minute to get back here.
Okay, so roll call.
Dale, we can't hear you. You're muted. If you look on the bottom right or left side of your screen, you'll see a little mute button. You can click that. We can't hear you at all. Adam, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You want to continue, Billy? Get Adam?
Kendall,
Here.
okay.
All right, we do have a quorum. And please look at the consent agenda. We have two items there to approve the March 2nd, 21 minutes and the March 2nd, 21 claims. Is there anything you'd like to take off the consent agenda? If not, do I have a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis actually did it first. Okay. Please call, no discussion. Please call for a vote.
Scott,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yeah.
Webb,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next item is just remarks from the audience, as we did before. And is there anyone that would like to make a comment on anything on the agenda that is not, that is not on the agenda to the board? Anybody like to make a comment? Okay, if we have no one that wants to make a comment, we're going to go right on to the next item, which is the staff. Anybody have remarks from the commission or the staff or anybody? Dave,
Nothing from the city?
Nothing from the city. Okay, is there any new business?
No, nothing from the city.
Okay, nothing from the city. So at this point then, this is the best meeting that we have most normally because it's so short. So we don't have any new business, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have Burnham makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Kendall. Please call for a vote.
Scott,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Reeves.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. I would like to say thank you for everybody for coming. Those that came and viewed, thank you very much because we do like your input. We want you to know what's going on and we want to know all the information that you'd like to give us. So thank you very much. And is there anybody else? Like to make